Hello Internet, welcome to another episode of a WoW podcast. Obviously, episode number
40.
That's correct. My name is Taliesin.
And I'm Evitel.
And welcome to the podcast!
Hi guys.
It's us, we're here. Hello. One button to rule them all. That's all we're going to be doing from now on, Evie. That's how this podcast is going to work. I've got everything set up on one button. I press one button, the podcast starts. I press one button, all the clever and funny chat happens. I press another button, there's a funny joke and sexual innuendo, and then I press another button and then it's over and we go home. And then I press another button and the kids are in bed.
Hey,
and then I press the same... I keep saying another button, but I've made it more difficult than I should. I keep pressing the same button over and over again. I'm going to get a huge red... Oh my God. I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to get one of those huge red buttons on a USB, and I'm going to plug it into my keyboard, and I'm going to sit here, and my big red button is just going to be here like this. I'm going to have it on screen and I'm going to play WoW like this. And I'm going to get IO 4000 Mythic Plus rating. What do you think about that? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the war on add-ons. We are talking about Blizzard's new UI stuff that is going to take over, and everyone's rubbish now at the game, but also good, and it's terrible, isn't it?
What are we going to do?
What do you think about that, eh?
Oh,
I purposely haven't talked to you about this today.
No,
we haven't talked about it at all. I look like I'm in a dark cave, and you look like you're in a really bright sauna or something. I don't know what's going on with our cameras.
This is just the shine.
Our
it's
cameras have got different stuff going on.
It's
like no,
hot.
they literally got like different exposures going on right now. So sorry if you're watching the podcast live or on the YouTube video. Welcome if you're listening on your usual podcast listening only in your ears platform. Sorry we didn't post the last episode up there, but we will this one.
Oh, heck yeah.
And if I'm lying, then you'll never even know because you won't hear me say it.
Oh.
So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about... It's Mayday. It's the 1st of May.
Happy Mayday.
Happy Mayday. Well, let's do some Morris dancing and some rolling in the hay. There's a sexual innuendo. Well, it wasn't really a sexual. It was literally just a reference to sex.
Springtime is officially the horniest season.
Springtime is horn time.
Yeah. It's canon.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
pretty
since
sure.
the dawn of time, everyone's like... Things are growing. Time to get it on.
Things are growing. Having said that, though, when did we get pregnant with our children? Because like our kids. Well, people can work it out, man. Our kids were both born in like within a week of each other in February, which must mean we have a particular horn dog time of year.
It's literally
when we conceive children. Oh, is it? No, it's not. It's not
it's
because
a bit later.
You always told me in our anniversary that you were pregnant, so it must have happened by then. So like
no, wait.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're stumped.
Wait,
and that's what got us into this mess.
So it always happens kind of like mid-summer. I remember, like summer, early summer, midsummer.
Well,
that's when it's happened.
It would happen 3 months after February, so February, March, April, May.
It was more June-y. No, it was June. Oh, no,
it's going to happen mid-May.
It was more June.
I can't wait for my annual rumpus. In May. Oh, I can't wait. I'll press the button for that. I'll press it loads. I'll press it again and again. And then I'll need a little rest, but then I'll press it again.
There is a button, but it's not that button.
You told me I could find... I don't know where the button is. So we're going to be talking about the trading post for May as well. As some other things, some other WoW-related goodness that's going on, including kind of like just hearing your opinion on some of the stuff that happened last week, which we haven't had a chance to talk about with you either, because, oh my gosh, last week was nuts, man. We knew we were going away to London, and we knew we'd be seeing family, and then going to the Natural History Museum, the building where we met for the first time. The last time I'd set, exactly. And the last time I'd set foot in there was the day we met, and it was a very emotional thing to go back there. Really,
it was like down to the same hallways where we saw each other. You know, wearing our scratchy polyester uniforms. Peddling our books.
It's true. Sending me a text from the same toilet that you sent me a text from initially.
You know what? I didn't even register until I got in there because Penny was like, I need a toilet. So I took her in, and as I was walking through, I was like, these are the very toilets where I replied to Tally's. Well, I didn't reply. I sent him a text.
Yeah, because I gave you my number, which is what all gentlemen should do. Never try and get a lady's number, folks, lads. Always give your number to them. Ask if they would take your number rather than ask if you can take theirs. But whatever, man. I'm 42. Maybe that's not how it's done anymore. Maybe it's done by like neurochip or something. Who knows? But that was good. And so, I'd already said to people on stream, I was like, look, there's not going to be a weekly reset this week. We've got maybe like a sponsor video coming out at the beginning of next week and stuff, but it's all going to be chill. We're away. Sorry about that. But then there was such big news that I had to make a weekly reset because there was like the Dinar news. We spent all last episode talking about Dinars, and rather predictably, we got the Dinar news about an hour after the podcast,
an hour afterwards. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone was really, really happy with the Dinar news. Man, I've never seen the community jumping like it was. It was fantastic. And so I thought, well, we have to put out a special weekly reset report on this, right? And so, I very quickly, wearing my sweater, whacked together a script, recorded it, edited it, put it out. I was like, yeah, good, nice one. Now we can relax and go to London and have a good time, see my family. And then player housing news dropped at it felt like it was like midnight or something here.
It was late.
It was insane. It was something like 8 p.m. here on the Friday night. Like literally, it was almost like someone spilt their coffee on the PC just as they were going home at Blizzard HQ and accidentally launched the blue post, right? and what amazing housing news it was. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion about that, Evie. Yeah. And so I thought, well, God, we have to put up another video about that now. So I very quickly in one day whacked that video together as well, and put it through for approval with our sponsors and put it out on Monday or some shit. And then we had another video come out yesterday, so it's been rolling.
It has been.
It's been good.
Stop, absolutely non-stop.
Maybe if we run out of things to talk about in this podcast episode, we'll talk about some of the videos that we put out last week and get more opinions on them. But let me remind you, folks, if there's something that you would like us to talk about, if there's something that you would like us to mention or a question you'd like us to answer, then please whack it in a super chat and we will come to them all at the end of the episode. The super chat is something that happens on YouTube. It's a YouTube thing. That's what happens. People listen on Spotify, don't know what that is. They're like, what's a super chat?
How do I super? And they're like, Alexa, super chat. Oops, I should have said no.
What did you say?
Alexa.
Oh, no, I changed it.
You turned off.
No.
Good.
You don't say Alexa now. You say the name of, you say Echo.
Oh.
Yeah, which I thought was really clever because it meant you could say Alexa whenever you wanted when you're up here and it wouldn't trigger the Alexa.
Except just everyone who's listening.
Well, yeah, but I also didn't reason with the fact that is also the name of quite a famous WoW guild. So in Race to World First, whenever I was talking about the Race to World First in stream, it would just go off constantly. I do not know Race to World First. It's like, well, okay, fine, shut up. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Can we talk about the trading post first?
Let's do it. Should we have a look at it?
Are you online right now? Let's go and take a look because it is the day. I love it when we have a podcast on the first of the month and we can talk about it live. It's not even old news, and you're seeing some of it for the first time, which is pretty good too. Yes. So very excited about this. Now, where did I put it?
You got the scene ready?
Okay. Oh, wait. No, wait.
Oh.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
So here is Evie in game. That's a nice character you've got there, Evertel.
Thanks.
What's her name?
Evertel.
Thought so.
Thanks.
Should we go and take a look at the trading post?
Do you want to
and now I've got to say, have you looked at anything this month yet?
I had a very quick browse, but I had a feeling we would be talking about it here today, so I haven't really done a deep dive.
Good. Okay. So, I have. In fact, I used the new shopping cart feature. I loaded that shit up this morning. Oh my God, my shopping cart was so full I actually had to take something out of it so I could afford it all. And yeah, I bought a whole ton of shit. Okay. It was really good. It's a particularly good trading post this month.
It is a good one. Oh my
God. There's a sight. He was on his hind legs when we first saw him. Fantastic. So that is the spring
harvest hog.
Harvest hog. What do you think of that, Evie?
Oh my God.
This is the big new mount that's out this month.
It's so cute. Oh, there's a little watering can.
I know. So he's like a hedgehog. He looks like he's from Ariete or something, and he's got little baskets of harvest veg and fruit around him, and he's got a big leaf for a seat, which must be a very hardy leaf to protect your groinal area from those spikes.
But nice and soft at the same time and smooth. This is so cute, and I had not seen the mount special.
What, just
Look
go,
at that.
I don't know. I
He
think
stands
going up on his hind legs like that is a
legs.
little bit weird, but
I think it's incredible because it's like, what's he gonna do? Something cutesy?
sexual is what he looks like he's going to do.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I know it's spring and all, babe, but come on.
That's why they call him the hog.
Yeah, I kind of assumed he would do something like cutesy, but literally just standing up and like roaring on his hind legs. It's so cute.
He's a mean
I'm gonna put
ass.
this bad boy in my cart immediately.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't. Oh,
Gamer Gators are so upset over this mount. Gamer Gators don't know what happens in WoW anymore. That's
Yeah.
well over. They're long gone.
They don't play games.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's true.
They just don't play games.
They won't know about the Harvest Hog until Grums mentions it.
God. All right. Let's have a look and see what's next. Attire. Attire
Okay.
of the
So,
Swift.
right. So this is like, we follow the person that designed this set on Twitter, and it's really cool. It's really nice. It's like a pretend, like very obviously kind of stitched together costume set,
Super cute.
rather than it being like an actual fox skin.
Exactly.
You gotta be careful about fox skins these days. Now that we've got Vulpera in the game, it's kind of like grotesque.
You're right, actually. Yeah.
But of course, you do get to like have a Vulpera character and put this on the Vulpera, right? So
Yes.
that's pretty cool. Happy with that.
Like so many layers of
Yeah.
Vulpera. I love it. Like a Vulpera onion.
You know what I'm going to say about this, and the reason I don't like it, though, aren't you? You know, right?
Yeah, I do know because it's all flat. Like,
Yeah,
especially,
exactly.
Especially the boots.
The boots with like they're thigh high, and they have like amazing thigh high tops on them.
So
And
good.
they should be so awesome, but they're
Yes.
not because they're painted onto the trousers. And I appreciate this isn't the designer's job,
Mm-hmm.
like designer's fault as such. They're told like you can have this many, like you can have a 3D belt in this one. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Just,
a 3D hat.
just the buckle. Just
yeah,
the buckle.
exactly. So,
Nothing else.
but the rest of it has to be flat. That's clearly like their task that they're given, right? But I still think it's a bit. I don't like it when they do that. It's
a shame. On the other hand, I do appreciate having an absolute skin tight outfit on my night elf.
yeah,
It just-
exactly.
just-
Looks
just
good on a
brings out
night
her
elf as well. Happy with that.
Yeah, looks good on a night elf. And then you also get the
Raccoon one as well, which has like a particularly pleasing tail.
It does have a really good tail and it
Like
has a
on-
really nice color scheme, actually.
Yeah, it is really cool.
The brown is kind of like a reddish brown. It's just pleasing, and with
Yeah.
the blue, it looks really nice. This is really like rustic and cute and adorable.
It's true.
And
Well,
I love
and
it.
that's the thing. As the designer of this set herself said on Twitter, it's like the idea is that you're buying it for the helms and the shoulders, and the shoulders are really cool. Like so many uses for those shoulders.
Absolutely.
But also like without the helm and the shoulders,
Yes.
like it's meant to be just like a straight up cool RP set.
Yes,
So
I can see that actually. And one thing I will say about these boots, I do appreciate like having another pair of like absolutely flat, like glued to my body boots. Even though, you know what I mean? Like,
I still
even
think
though,
the tops could be 3D though.
No, I agree. Well, you got. Oh yeah, the tops. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I do appreciate them because I'm really over like massive clunky boots, and almost every like armor set, especially through Shadowlands, even in Dragonflight, like there are just a lot of like big ass clunky boots on everything, and I always like I'd wear a full armor set and I just change the boots out to just
Fair. Very fair. I get it. And yeah.
yes,
They're
so-
cool. They're fine. And when I look at it on your OBS, actually, the tops of the boots look really good, but that's 'cause
Yes.
I can't really see that they're
It's
not
too
3D.
far away.
Yeah, exactly. What's next?
What's next? Look at this guy.
Okay, you got these pet things, which are based on like the mounts that they added a couple
He's
of
so
months ago.
Cute. Look at him. Look at
Yeah,
him.
he's okay.
I can't tell if he's punching
not really-
or like just doing a little like Yahoo.
Well, I don't know if he's
a
punching.
fighter.
Who's his girlfriend?
He's a ha ha ha. Oh no, he's literally just pummeling.
I know a
someone.
thing or two about punching, right?
He's literally just like just pounding someone.
Yeah.
But he's adorable. He's cute. How is he small or big?
He's tiny. He's a teeny tiny little battle pet.
I know.
What do you expect? A battle pet to be your size? A
If
battle pet
battle
that you can
pets-
cuddle, that can carry you into battle? No, that's a mount.
If battle pets were this big, I would be so into battle pets.
What? I don't understand what you mean this big.
Like relative, I understand my character standing behind.
Yeah,
pet.
there's a big, but you studied art history. You understand the concept of
Yes, but
perspective.
I'm
What's
talk-
going on?
Can I finish my sentence? If they were like actually still proportionally, if you moved this battle pet back next to where I'm standing, he's still going to be pretty massive.
Okay.
So
Look,
I think-
only one
I
way to
think-
find out. How many tendies is he?
350. I might buy him anyway.
Absolute bargain. Buy him and
All
summon
I'm
him for science. So we know.
Is that if battle pets were bigger, like the size of hunter pets, how cool would that be?
Well,
and if I could actually watch this guy like duking it out with someone properly.
You know, there's a very simple fix for this. You play a very tall race in Night Elf.
I do.
Why don't you play Gnome or Goblin?
Yeah, because
or Vulpera.
still relative to the world.
Right, I see.
Tiny. He's adorable. I might just get him for science. The Brownford Spiky Bakar. Oh, the good boy.
It's the goodest boy.
The goodest boy is here.
It's the recolor of Teyvan, which I don't know. As someone who has Teyvan and who worked very, very hard to get Teyvan for the Dragonflight meta achievement. Oh, I can't wait to see what amazing housing items I get from my Dragonflight housing achievement from my meta achievement for Dragonflight.
Yes.
What do you think I'll get? I want. Well, I would like Teyvan in a dog basket.
Oh,
that I can place somewhere in the room.
A giant dog basket.
Yeah, and he wanders around and he gets in his dog basket every now and then. That's what I want for my my Dragonflight meta achievement. That's the housing item I would like, Blizzard. Chalk it up, write it down. So yeah, there's a little recolor of him. He's wonderful. That's great. I'm glad that
lovely.
losers that haven't done the Dragonflight meta get to play with him now.
Me. I'm literally gonna do it.
I think that's really lovely.
He's really good. He's really good.
Oh, is it actually smaller scale than Teyvan? I don't know. I never.
They shrunk him.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you what size Teyvan is because I felt like it kept changing when it first came out, and he was absolutely elusive at first.
It was huge.
And then they shrunk him down, and then I think they buffed him back up again. So I'm out of it. But if you're telling me that he's smaller than Teyvan, then good, frankly, because people that buy from the trading post don't deserve a big Teyvan like I've got.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it still. Next up is the heroic half shell.
Okay. Now we are getting into the real meat of this trading post.
Are you kidding me?
Those
were all really good.
They were all really good, but if you actually want to know what this trading post is going to be remembered for,
there we are.
It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trading post, although it's called the Heroic Half Shell, so actually a reference to the European title of the show, which was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
I think they didn't understand. They thought that British people wouldn't understand what a ninja is. Which it shows we do know what a ninja is. You could have called it that. It was absolutely fine. But yeah, I can't help but feeling that the heroic half shell is a reference to the British title of the show. Maybe one of our British developer friends over there kind of put it in or something like that. Exactly. Yeah. And to the extent that they literally changed the theme tune and stuff to the TV show, it was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
That's a deep cut.
Heroes in a half shell. So yeah, like oversaturation of the word hero in the theme tune, but we didn't mind. We were really into it. Yeah. They went full out. They really committed to the name change.
Yeah, it's really good. I love how my hair is clipping through it just at the bottom, so it looks like it's literally clamped onto the back of my Night Elf's hair. So
here's your turtle shell, and now you'll notice that the stuff that comes next is very much kind of supplementary to the turtle shell.
Yeah.
Okay. Although I think we've got some other stuff to go to first before we get to the full-on turtle stuff.
Yes. Let's.
But remember the shell.
Remember the shell. Next up, rocket chicken for your undermine exploding chicken pet.
Oh yeah,
needs.
Is that a return? Is that like a recolor? Is that it looks kind of low res, kind of looks low poly to me, but it's awesome. Obviously,
it's adorable. It's a pet, so I'm not, gonna lose my mind over it, but.
The reason for the name change was the culmination of several years of different moral panics and a sincere worry that ninja weapons would fall into the hands of young children. Well, you say that, Otter, right? But one thing that never happened in this country was that Michelangelo's nunchucks got censored, whereas you'd see the turtles depicted in American media a lot, and they would censor Michelangelo's nunchucks because people were very afraid that nunchucks were actually incredibly dangerous weapons, more so than swords or knives.
Or guns.
So I do remember sometimes seeing Michelangelo's nunchucks get censored, but that tended to be, in my memory, when the tagline was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rather than Hero Turtles. The British version didn't tend to censor it, I noticed.
Wow.
I noticed that as a kid, so maybe my mind is playing tricks on me, but that's how I remember it.
Could be.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Turtles was my favourite TV show when I was 6.
I can tell.
I loved it so much.
Oh.
I was a big Ghostbusters fan, and then I was a huge Turtles fan, and those two shows took over my life. when I was a kid. Loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Anyway, I'm told this is a trading card game item.
Yeah, that looks likely.
Looks about right.
We all had a heads up on this years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
Like when the first trading card item came out in the trading post, it was like, do not buy any more trading card items from the internet. Don't do it. Don't spend real life money on this stuff.
Stop.
They're all coming.
Yep. Next one, Death Warder's Great Blood Blade.
Oh my god, I bought this. This was in my cart.
Yeah.
It's like okay, so there's a series of Drust weaponry.
Yes.
In the trading post this month as well, which is great. Like so many
Night
fun
Hags
things in
blade.
this.
Really
There's
pretty.
like 2 or 3 different themes in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And they have this nice kind of like glowy effect on the blade, which I
Yeah, and
love.
then you can't really see it because you're a night elf
Yeah.
and they hold their swords in a
Yeah,
funny way.
they
And then you
do.
got like these. I think that staff is amazing.
It's huge.
Like the effect.
Yeah, look
like the
at
particle
that.
effect on that staff.
Really
is
nice.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I love a bit of drusty stuff.
Yeah, me
Really
too.
Good.
Is it a sign of more Drust to come? I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe. One day we got to sort it out, right? One day we got to remember that storyline got started.
Yes. Well, and also a shark hat.
Great,
But a
awesome.
knitted shark hat. Like a
Show me
little
my hair. Show me my hair, Blizz. Come on, how hard is it? Let my hair come out and I'll wear that every day.
You do get to see my nice buff Taronda shoulder blades.
I mean,
when my hair
yes,
is up.
but that should be your choice. That should be your choice when
You're
when you
right.
make your haircut, not when
You're
you choose your
right.
headgear.
And then back to some more drusty stuff. The Night Hag's stave. So
Yeah,
kind
in
of red
blue.
and blue recolors.
You really liking that?
Nice kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
One-handers, which
Yeah.
look really good.
The swords are great. The staffs are
Whoa.
good. The fist weapons are kind of fist weapons.
Yeah, they are fist
You know,
weapons.
one
They're
in
cool.
1 in 10 fist weapon transmogs is really good, and the rest are kind of like, it's not really what I want from a fist weapon, but okay. Yeah, why not? Awesome, brilliant.
Yeah.
And yeah, in blue and red, fantastic.
Lovely. Love it. A large Renaissance katana.
Do you get it?
I get it.
You didn't get it yesterday when I mentioned
No,
it to
I
you.
didn't. I didn't.
I said, look, they've called them the Renaissance nunchucks. And she's like, I don't get it. And I was like,
why would they do
Michelangelo. So, you know what? That's for Fury Warriors, obviously, when they're dual wielding the katanas in their Turtles transmog, right? So they have double-handed versions because there are single-handed versions as well, slightly smaller. But I foresee a future where a lot of people are transmogging the two-handed katana with their long black Neo coat as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So they can go full on
can
Ben
studying
Shapiro.
the blade. Yeah.
Full on Ben Shapiro with his
funny.
leather trench coat and
Please,
katana blade. Get
please.
some shades on.
Love
be an
it.
edgy boy. I see so
absolutely
many
love it.
edgy boys in dungeons when I'm running them, when I'm pugging them.
yes.
It's so good.
So we have the large Renaissance katana, the nunchuck of the Renaissance. These look really good because they are
Oh, the
actually just
nunchucks are great, and you get a main hand one, and you get an offhand one as well.
Perfect.
And when you're dual wielding them, they look so cool.
Right, yes.
They're like really, really good.
Perfect. I love that. I love that.
So wait. Using your knowledge of the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, what weapons are coming next? Without looking, now we're full on into the Turtles' weapons.
What else do they throw stuff? Do they throw like little stars?
I mean, they do, but each one has like a signature weapon.
Yeah, I don't. They have the little knives.
The little knives, yeah.
Little knives.
The little, well, they're not
pointy
called
ones.
that, but yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm not. I don't know my Teenage
They're
Mutant
called
Ninja Turtles.
sais.
Sais.
Yeah, they're called sais. S-A-I.
Oh.
And do you know which turtle? Our son's favorite turtle uses those ones.
Leonardo. Raphael.
Thank you.
Raphael.
Yeah, you remember our son's favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I do.
That's awesome. Well done. Good on you. Except they don't call him Raphael in the new cartoons. They call him Raph.
Oh right, because
Yeah.
it's a new world.
Yeah.
At
whatever,
least he's
man.
not Rafe. Like,
Yeah, because that would be completely wrong.
yeah. I don't know.
And there are the scythes. They're
the
cool.
scythes,
I
those
think
are
they're
really
really good.
nice.
Just good ninja weapons.
Yeah, it's nice seeing just like straight up, like when they do really nicely done, like plain weapons. I think those are really successful.
And that just leaves Donatello's weapon. Do you know what that is?
It's a katana.
No, you're cheating by looking at the thing and seeing the katana was next in the list. That's how I knew I was going to catch you out and humiliate you in front of our audience for not knowing your Turtles lore. No, Donatello is the bow staff.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, which it looks like maybe you've already got, or it's a returning item, so it'll be further down
Oh,
in the
yeah.
list.
So we'll go down. We'll see that one in a minute.
It's a really good stuff. I bought it ages ago, and it's great. It's so cool.
Yeah. Next up, more Drust stuff, offhand Drust stuff.
Yeah, the just offhand is
fetishes.
fine. Kind of fits
Looks
in
nice.
with the staff. Not that you'd ever use it with the staff, but
Yeah.
it's cool. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
Looks good. And then we've got the kind of classic Azure war skirt and leg wraps and the violet.
In blue
Spring
and purple,
colours.
which is Leonardo and Donatello colors. I see a lot of people with their Teenage Mutant Ninja transmogs utilizing these,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't match entirely with the turtles. Like it looks good.
It does look
Yeah,
good. It's
yeah.
it's like wraps, right? And then of course you're matching vigilante masks.
The Zorro masks in blue, orange,
so
and
goofy.
carrot, kind of yellow. Really,
These
could be a bit more
I
orange
have
to be
to
honest.
ask, these are cool, but do they actually look good on anyone?
Yeah, they look good on everyone. I love the way
they?
they're like molded to your face like a superhero mask.
Yeah, it is
Like
pretty
that's what
cool.
makes them really cool for me, is the way they are like really like sculpted to your face. And I
Yeah.
think it's really, really cool. I genuinely love them like
Yeah,
that.
they are really nice. You've got loads of
So you now
colours.
have your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles masks and weapons and shell, which, yes, we don't have playable Tortollum, which would be perfect, but we do have orcs, and those motherfuckers are green. And we do have
You know
trolls, and those motherfuckers can be green as well.
You're right.
What other green races can we have? I guess Forsaken, but that wouldn't look quite as cool. What other green? Who else can be green? I think maybe that might be it. Just trolls and orcs.
Draenei
So
can be green.
get
Night
ready.
Elves-
Oh, can
Night
you get?
Elves-
Oh,
Night
can you
Elves
get?
can have kind of like a greenish pallor,
Yeah,
but not green. You can have green hair.
a sewer campsite would be excellent to go along with all of this as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and green hair useless because you won't see it under the bandana, and also green skin is what we need for the turtles, Evie. I get the feeling you're not taking this turtle transmog seriously. I get the feeling you're not committing to it. Oh, goblins! Who else is green?
Oh!
He says with
Lord.
a huge picture of Undermine
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
him.
like in the
I don't
middle of the
understand.
goblin
Who
patch.
else is green? I think it's just trolls and orcs, mate. No one else. I've already seen plenty of turtles mogs around the place in Argent Dawn EU.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're living it up. So stuff that's coming back, you have the Amber Skitterfly mount, which is actually quite massive when it's down. This is huge.
Yeah.
So big.
It's standard skitterfly size.
They're,
Do
massive.
you remember when the skitterflies were like the only mounts that could walk
I
on
could
water?
walk on water. Yes, I do. I recall
Wow.
those times very vividly.
And so every new expansion, when you started the campaign questing in a new expansion, like everyone just used their skitterfly from MOP because it just made everything a million times easier. Back in the days when you couldn't fly on day one, do you remember that? Those bad days?
Simple bad days. Also, the kind of floral daggers are back. Those are actually really cool.
Yeah,
Little
I actually bought
petals.
those as well. They're really
There's
good.
little petals dropping off of it.
Yeah, they're really
You're
genuine.
like
I've never
you're
ever
like one
used
of
them in my
those
entire
sexy
life.
assassins that like, leaves a trail of petals behind you.
One
Love
day
it.
I'm going to create like a ruffled Renaissance, like or restoration, I should say, kind of like gentleman assassin with kind of
yes.
like a ruffled neckerchief
Yes.
and like long flowing coat and nice hair and possibly a Zorro mask and like the petal daggers. Definitely,
love that.
They're so cool.
Love it. And the
And when I stab people, I'll macro to my like execute button or something /W. Every rose has its thorn.
Milady.
Milady.
Excellent. I have to say, I'm quite surprised I don't own any of these flower weapons.
Yeah,
'cause
me
they
too.
are insane. These are absolutely outrageous. I love that. I'm just into gardening now, so this is.
Oh,
this is my life.
basically, this is our day now. Is I sit in here like working on like video stuff, and Evie does the garden. That's what she does, and I'm more than happy with that. We've got a beautiful garden right now.
Listen, I literally am making hay while the sun shines. Like you know what? The
I
sun
haven't
is
got
out.
any hay. Where's my hay?
Yeah. It's out there. So yeah, I've just managed to get some stuff done while it's actually the weather's actually nice.
Yeah, and we've got family coming around tonight for dinner outside and stuff. It's gonna be lovely because it is baking here in the UK at the moment.
It is very.
Don't know
very,
what it's
very,
like
very
where
hot.
you are. Don't know what it's gonna be like in Boston next weekend.
Hey, why Boston?
Why Boston? Because that's where the World of Warcraft 30th anniversary event is happening in the US of A.
Correct.
And I think we can probably confirm now for sure
Yes.
that I will be there.
I will not be there.
No, but I'm thinking of maybe getting a t-shirt made with your face on it.
Please, can you? Oh,
Ironically,
please.
you have a t-shirt with your face on it that a wonderful like viewer of the channel made for us and gave it to us at BlizzCon.
I do have.
Not at the anniversary concert, but it doesn't fit me. It's too small. I got one that said stagnation on it.
Yes. Yeah. So, for those of you who are wondering, Tally is going to be in Boston next week. Can't believe that's so soon.
Yeah, God. This month has turned into a really, really hectic month out of nowhere.
It's absolute madness. So you people who will be in Boston, anyone going to PAX? I think you're going to be there at PAX for there's going to be a Warcraft panel happening on the Saturday at PAX.
So I'll be at PAX. I'll be seeing the panel. I will be at the anniversary event on the Saturday. Mm-hmm. I will be around for a couple of days after as well, but I can't tell you about that.
Oh, very.
I can tell you about it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
don't get suspicious. It's fine. But I can't tell you about that yet. But you'll find out pretty quick, I'm sure.
So those of you who are wondering, because we were actually originally, both of us, supposed to be doing something that weekend. We were supposed to go to the wonderful LFG London event, which we were absolutely hyped for because we missed last year. And then our childcare providers, aka grandparents and uncle, all three of them, just like were given a cruise.
Yeah, my sister-in-law works on a cruise, and she sorted them out to go on a cruise of the fjords.
Free cruise of the fjords.
And
right over the time when we were supposed to go to LFG.
And yeah, exactly. And my grandparents turned around and was like, "We won't go on the cruise. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll do our childcare duty." And I was like, "You're
home.
going on the cruise, dude. Of course you're going on the cruise." They've never been on a cruise before. They're not really cruise type people. But I think a cruise of the fjords in Norway, you can't turn that down. That's too awesome. If I was to, I'm not really a cruise person either, but if I was to go on a cruise, I would want to go on a cruise of the fjords. I'd want it to be a cruise where you're going to see something specifically.
While you're on the boat.
Exactly,
which is still cool. Not just open sea.
So I'm really sorry, LFG fam. That's why we had to cancel that.
Yeah.
And then pretty much like a week after we'd cancelled that.
Yeah. An opportunity arose. And it was like, okay, Tally, you go do it. So I will be at home hanging out with the kiddos. Probably like answering Tally's frantic texts that he's like, what's the Twitter login? So stuff like that.
Dude, I know the Twitter login. I'm the one that has to reset OBS every time we stream on either like Twitch or YouTube. I know all the passwords, man. Mm-hmm. Oh no, not Twitter.
No,
but I think it's good that I don't know the Twitter login. That's absolutely fine. Don't keep in fact, you should change the Twitter login weekly yes. and not tell me what it is.
Exactly.
No matter how much I beg, no matter how much I plead. Okay, just keep me off that shit, please. I'm more than happy not knowing the Twitter login.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it just because I'm sending you a text from Boston.
Yeah,
it's me, Tally from Boston. What's the Twitter login again? Don't fall for it. Don't send that shit. You keep it for yourself.
Yeah. So this just reminds me. The one time where this all could have gone wrong was when you were doing the Dragonflight Castle event.
Oh yeah.
And I was at home with the kids, and you were supposed to be streaming, and you were like, I don't know how to log in Twitch.
No, I did. No. Do you want to know what the problem with Dragon Castle was?
What was the problem?
Was that there was no reception in the castle, so I couldn't receive the text from Twitter.
Oh, right.
Saying it's me when I tried to log in from a new computer.
Yeah.
So I was desperately trying to get through to you to like help with the two-factor authentication. It wasn't that I didn't know the password. It wasn't that I didn't it was the fact that I could not receive the text.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
And I recall, and there were issues logging in, and I came up with a brilliant workaround where we couldn't change the phone to log in with because Tally already had his like number registered to it. So I added I just downloaded like a key generator app and then linked it, and then I could generate the key, and then I could send it to this sounds way less exciting than it was in the moment, but as it was happening, I felt like I was literally solving like a humanitarian crisis.
Yeah.
I was like, I have solved a problem and now the world is okay.
You were the tech guy that day.
I was
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I will be on my toes while you're in Boston.
Yeah, thank you.
Just in case.
It's like, where's my passport, Evie?
Yeah, where's
I'm at the plane station. Where's my passport?
The plane station.
But it's true. But people worried that I might not be let into the country. But don't worry, I'll definitely be let into the country because they love me over there.
They do.
They'll be like, "Yo, Taliesin, US," and I'll be wearing my big USA T-shirt, USA, and I might take my kids' passports with me just to prove that I have American children. And no, obviously I won't do that, don't I? But I'll be like, "I got American children, don't worry." And I'll just put out a couple of tweets about how much I love Trump and stuff before we go. Okay, just so like our social media is like properly sort of loaded up, and so when they check on me they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy's okay. Bit much actually, to be honest, but yeah, okay, yeah, he can come in.
So that is coming up next week for anyone in Boston at the anniversary event. They released the final wave of tickets last night, I believe, so anyone who managed to get those, say hello to Tally. He'll be there.
Yeah, I will be there.
Maybe you can like call me on WhatsApp and I can be like, hey everyone.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just have like a little floating face.
I mean, you'll be in bed by the time the actual event happens.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you
7 p.m. US time.
Yeah.
That's going to be like 2 a.m. I'm going to be up playing video games. I'm going to have the house to myself.
You know you can do that any night, even when I'm here, right? I'm not stopping you.
No, but I'm
no,
totally
I do. I chain you to the bed.
Totally,
like 10 p.m. It hits 10 p.m. I'm like, right, bedtime.
It's like the kids are going to be here, but I'm effectively going to have the house to myself. I'm going to feel like...
looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing anyone who might be in Boston. That'll be fun.
Yes.
Back to the trading post. Now you've seen all of the trading post items. Oh, the monthly log, by the way, is a pet, which is customizable. It's got a couple of different costumes you can put on it and stuff like that. Which I'm not really sure how it works, but I guess I will once I filled up my traveler's log. Right? So that'll be lovely. Now you'll have noticed, Evie, that there's loads of stuff on this month's trading post. How many tendies do you have?
I have 1,030 tendies.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're chucking everything into your new shopping cart,
that'll be
by
gone
the way,
instantly.
yeah, it fills up pretty quick. So, and obviously there is like the turtle stuff, which you want to buy all of it, right? Unless you've got like a favorite turtle and you're like, oh, I just want to be Raphael, I just want to be Leonardo. Like you want the whole set, right? You want all of them. And then you've got the cool Drust weapons in 2 different colors and different versions of. And then you've got like what I think is the best mount that's been on the trading post for quite a long time, even though it doesn't fly. It's really cool. It uses that great skeleton, which I really like, and it just looks really cute and lovely, even though the game gators hate it. And I ask you this.
Yes, Tally.
That is obviously way more than anyone's going to be able to afford with tendies for this month.
Yeah.
And we don't know when this stuff is coming back, right? So like I've already seen quite a lot of discussion around the internet that, you know, there should be more tendies or there should be less mounts on the trading post, or do you have an opinion on this?
I mean, no one's forcing you to buy a mount, really. No one's forcing you to buy anything here, but I agree. There was a period of, last year, when maybe even the year before, when I had I have a glut of tendies because I hadn't been buying stuff. This was like maybe how long has the trading post been around now?
2 years.
2 years. So kind of like towards the middle, after it started, and I was like, I got some stuff, and I just wasn't really getting things because some of it was fine. There were some good things, but it wasn't. It would be like one cool mount, and then maybe a couple of other things. Now we have what feels like tons of stuff, and the quality feels considerably better. So gone are the days when I would just like buy one thing on the trading post and then have loads for the next month.
I do find that I kind of still do that. I do have gluts.
Do you?
There are months where I want to buy everything, and there are months where I'm like, nothing. Well, I could buy this, but I don't really want it. It's just for something to buy, really. And I'm in the habit now of when those items pop up, not buying them, practicing some self-restraint that I don't have in real life, and saving those tendies for the next month. I mean, we've got the Tavan, we've got the Hedgehog, there's the Skitterfly if you don't have that already, you got all the turtle stuff, you've got all of the Drust stuff, and I have seen people being like, yo, it's
a lot.
As a concept and as a principle, do you think that you should be able to buy everything on the trading post with 1 month's tendies?
No. But
I've seen people saying that.
I feel like I should be able to buy more than 2 things. Like, because if I get...
bear in mind, you haven't earned any tendies this month yet.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You're
Like,
right.
you are
It's the
working
beginning
off of
the month.
last month's tendies.
Yeah,
And the
it's the beginning of
500
the
that you
month.
picked up at the beginning of the
I
month.
haven't gotten paid.
Exactly, yeah. When payday comes, we go crazy. We go wild. It's like, all right, tendy master. All right, tendy vendor. I got paid.
Vendy.
I did 10 dungeons.
You have
I
to
got
call it
paid
the tendy-
today.
It's the tendy vendy.
Tendy vendy,
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna have to get the spring harvest hog, which is already in my cart. I'm gonna. This is hard.
Yeah.
This is actually this is a challenge.
Yeah, well,
for
I've
me.
actually frozen. Okay, so here's another thing that I do. I freeze stuff and then never buy it.
Okay.
I freeze stuff and then, the next month comes out and I'm like, well, there's too much stuff I want to buy this month. And so it's almost like 99% certain if I freeze something, I'm never going to buy it. So I've had like the Kirin Tool Mage set frozen for months and months and months, the transmog set. You probably don't even remember it because it's so long ago, right? I was like, I could definitely find a use for that. So I froze it. And this month I had to freeze, I've decided to freeze the hedgehog instead. So
Well, I'm gonna get myself the hedgehog. I'm gonna get myself the.
have you put them in your new
Tyvan.
shopping cart?
I've put them in my.
Wow, you having a mount month?
Yeah, I am.
Well, you have zero interest in the turtles transmogs we've established.
I like them, but the thing is, I don't really touch the classes that would benefit. From those
Well,
transmogs.
you got to start some monks, haven't you? That's,
exactly.
Totally.
And oh man.
I take the same approach to like freezing items in the trading post as I do to putting leftovers in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like there's leftovers, I put them in the fridge, I leave them in the fridge for about a week, and then I throw them in the bin. Like that's why we put like the fridge is a place where I put leftovers just to keep cool for a week before I put them in the bin. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh man, this is so hard.
Yeah.
This is so challenging.
I know. You want the raccoon set
I
as
want
well.
the raccoon
You are
set.
taken with that raccoon set. You love it.
I love it.
Is that because Pompoko is your favorite Ghibli movie?
Of course it is. I have far exceeded my purchase here. So.
Well, you're gonna have to do some dungeons. You're gonna have to actually play the game this month to earn tendies so that you can buy that stuff.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'll get myself the harvest hog. I'll get myself my little raccoon set.
Yeah. Come on, Evie. We've got more WoW news to talk about it. Oh, women always shopping. Am I right, fellas? Am I right? What?
I swear to God.
I want to be let into Trump's America. I've
You-
got to start working on it now, okay?
You're not going to get in there with your little velvet slippers. Speaking of shopping,
Do you know how much these velvet slippers cost me?
I don't even want to know.
£20.
Okay, that's cool.
eBay, absolute bargain.
Listen,
Literal £20 slippers from eBay.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's an eBayer now.
I
love
am.
it.
Well,
I
I've been
love
for
it.
quite a long time.
I love it.
Yeah, and I got a
Pretty cheap.
chambray Brycelands shirt, which was pretty nice. £250 new. I did not pay £250 for it.
I'm really happy for you.
Pretty good.
I'm really happy for you.
So
Anyway.
we need to talk, Evie. We need to talk about the one.
We've done all the fun stuff. Do we have to talk about the serious
The
stuff?
one. Is this no? This is fun too, Evie.
Is it?
The one button to rule them all. So yesterday, WoW put out a WoWcast with Dratnos and with Max from. Oh no! Wait, I can say his guild name without setting off our Alexa. So it is from Liquid, Max from Liquid.
The other one, exactly.
Yeah, it's the other one I can't talk about.
Oh wait, on second thought, that's actually a really bad name to give your Alexa when you talk about WoW.
That's the joke I was making earlier. I did wonder why you didn't laugh.
Oh, sorry.
Remember when I was talking about how I was talking about the Race to World first and it kept going off because I named it after quite a famous guild?
Yes.
Yeah?
You're right.
The whole thing that
Sorry,
you
the
laughed
sun
and you were literally looking me in the eye and laughing at my funny joke. What was actually going on there? What actually happened?
Sorry, the sun has like dulled my brain.
What the fuck? It was like a whole bit. Wait, I need to know how much of what we talk about do you just not
ever.
understand?
Do I just
How
nod
much
and
just like
smile?
passes you by completely? Because I can say from my experience, most of what you say passes me by.
I know.
But that's your own fault for talking about advanced physics all the time. Like, it's not my fault. It was a whole joke that we did. Wait, do you understand? Do you know what video game we're talking about here? Oh dear, it is a very warm day. I had a little snooze in the sun earlier as well. So like, yeah, I took a 20-minute siesta in the sun. So my brain has melted too. Okay, it's like, yeah, wow. Okay, well, that's with the gin as well, which is very.
That would explain it.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a WoWcast with Max and with Drapnos, and they were talking about. I'm just going to put it back onto your screen for a second while I change it over to my screen.
There you go, get the smiling faces.
There we go. And the main news from this WoWcast was Ian Hazakostas dropping, among other things, the name of patch 11.17.
Oh, right, yes.
Legacy of Arathor, which is actually a really, really interesting name.
Not Arator.
No, Arator is Alleria and Turalian's son. Arathor are the people from the Arathi, right? Who were part of the Arathi Empire. They were known as the Arathor, and this is like thousands of years ago. Like I think 1,200 years ago is when the splinter happened. So before that, the human empire that stretched across like the Eastern Kingdoms, and particularly the northern part of the Eastern Kingdoms, where the Plague Lands and stuff are now. That was the Arathi Empire. They were the Arathor, right? And when King Arathor died, the empire kind of split up and splintered, and we now know that there was a group of Arathi who went over the sea to this mystical land that we don't know yet, where they established a new empire. The new Arathi Empire of Light is over there. There is an emperor who they all believe in. We know of one other emperor that there has been in the past who was a female emperor. I think the emperor is a guy now, but there's very strong overtones of like some Wheel of Time shit going on over there, and some 40k Empire of Man, like Emperor of Man stuff going on over there. It's a really intriguing thing that they're setting up, we think, for after the World Soul Saga ends, right? It feels like...
Is there no way it could be included somewhere along the way?
It could be, but it would feel like, I don't know, for me, that would seem like a bit of a waste. Like, for me, the idea of there being this whole other world at the other side of the planet that we didn't even know was there, it gives you so much potential just to completely reinvent stuff and just to like almost kind of go to a different planet in a way. But it be on the same planet. Like, it feels like a bigger story than something that's going on as a B plot to the World Soul Saga.
I got you.
So it feels to me like they're very much. I'm sure we will see plenty of them.
Sure.
Like, you know, we've got the Arathi and exactly. But I think in terms of like really big storylines, that, you know, all this Arathi stuff is with after the World Soul Saga in mind. I think. I'm happy to be wrong.
That makes
but
sense. And the idea of like having an entire new empire, right? Like, it's not just like a new town,
exactly, a new continent. It's like
empire.
And you can add to it as much as they've added to the world map. Yeah, exactly. And you know, you've got at the very least 1,000-year history to work with there that they've been, you know, working on since they've been there. But then, of course, that landmass that we didn't know existed would have existed before the Arathi got there anyway. So, you know, again, potentially you've got like tens of thousands of years of history that you can kind of build on there as well, which would be really cool. So the Legacy of Arathor is an interesting name. It kind of, I've seen suggestions that it means it might even be taking place in the northern part of the Eastern Kingdoms, around like the Arathi, you know, like the town and stuff, and kind of maybe introducing the Arathi to the Arathi of the Eastern Kingdoms,
right?
And I think that could be really, really interesting, because it's about time
to happen at some point.
Yeah, exactly, and they could be like, we need to go and find these people because there are our guys, our lads, right? And that would also be interesting because of course it's that general area of the map, which is where Midnight is going to be taking place, Silver Moon and the northern part of the Eastern Kingdoms. So it could also feasibly be laying some groundwork for that as well. So that's like generally just pretty interesting. It might not have anything to do with that, and it might just be another way of referring to, like, you know, because you could say that the Arathi of Hallowfall from the Empire, from the new Arathi Empire, they literally are the legacy of Arathor, right? True. So it could just be about them and be set in Hallowfall and just be some nice story around there. But it's fun to talk about, and it is interesting that it's going to be another patch set around Arathi stuff, the second in a row, because I don't know how you've been enjoying your Nightfall, which is still the only content in 11.1.5.
Yep.
You enjoying it? Enjoying the Nightfall event?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
good, isn't it? It's really good.
Just grinding it every day.
Yeah. Really good. I don't know about you, but I'm actually really, really glad that they didn't release any of the other content with the Nightfall event, so that I could focus on the Nightfall event and just really, really knuckle down on it. And if what would I be doing right now if I was logging on and I was like, I have to do the Nightfall event and I have to do other fun stuff as well? It would be too much. So I'm just really glad that they did that. And just 10 out of 10 patch. Anyway, so 11.1.7, they are bringing in new additions to the base UI, and particularly in terms of what they refer to as the rotation assist. Now, as you all know, like the add-on thing in WoW is like a subject particularly close to my heart ever since last season when I did my big "Can you play WoW without add-ons" experiment, where I took 2 tanks, a healer, and an affliction warlock to Keystone Hero to 500 rating, because that was like the last thing you got rewarded for in that season. It's upped this season without using any add-ons at all, not a single one, not an iota. And I had a great time. It was really fun. I did have many thoughts afterwards as to what Blizz could do to make it easier to play without add-ons. The cooldown manager that came this patch is one of those things. I think the cooldown manager, we discussed this last episode, is great for new players. It's great for players picking up a new ult for the first time, like a new class for the first time. It's not going to replace anyone's standard weak auras. No. But there is functionality there which might be useful with a bit more iteration. Actually, in this interview, Ian Hazakostas, it sounds wrong to call it an interview, really. It's like a piece, right? Yes. He says that the cooldown manager will continue to be iterated on with more customization.
So I think we expected.
Exactly, but it's nice to have it confirmed. Yeah. So hopefully that'll be in a place where it'll be really useful to long-term players and stuff like that, and established players. So the rotation assist. Have you heard of the add-on? Well, I always call it he kill I, as in he kills me. He kill I, because he use add-on. Right. I know use add-on. He kill I.
Yes.
But they mention it. They pronounce it differently in this video. So
shocker.
Turns out that's not how you pronounce it, which is like the story of my fucking life, to be honest. Yeah. How would you say it?
Hakili.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Great. Have you heard of that add-on, Evertel?
I have heard of it. I've never used it though.
Okay. Excellent. I have used it.
Okay.
Just for science. I don't like it at all. But what it does is it kind of like, depending on your class, it basically shows you what buttons to press in your rotation.
Perfect.
Which, you see occasional like world first guilds using it when they're they've got someone playing a new class or something like that. But it's always felt a bit like cheating for me. So it's not why I enjoy playing the game, right?
Sure.
So, but if other people want to use it, fine. And Blizz are basically introducing their own version of this as another step towards, kind of basically putting combat add-ons in the game. And as mentioned in this interview, eventually, to a certain extent, phasing out the functionality of combat add-ons in the game once they've got, a replacement framework in place, right?
Yeah.
So the way that this works is that you can opt into this in the options menu, the rotation assist, and it will literally, on your bars, where your keybinds are, will light up which button it thinks you should press next in your rotation.
Nice. I like this.
I mean, I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
You're thinking, I play Beast Mastery Hunter, that's pretty much what happens now.
Yeah, like I mean, yes,
like a button lights up
and
I press it. Demon Hunters are sitting there thinking the exact same thing. They're like, wait,
wait,
I already press every button when it lights up. What are you talking about?
This is what the game does already, right? Like,
yeah, totally. Isn't this how everyone plays the game, right? But no, apparently not. So it will like light up which button it believes you should press next in your rotation. There is a penalty for this. It increases your global cooldown.
No, the rotation assist does not.
Oh, sorry. So this comes later. Okay.
That comes later.
But and it does take into account whether you are in like an AOE or a single target situation.
Yes.
But the idea is it's not going to be optimal, right? Because in fact, like almost. People are like, oh, well, will Blizz actually be able to like program this so it is using the proper rotation stuff? To which I would say, doesn't matter. Like, in fact, I would suggest it might even be preferable if it is kind of bad in the rotation that it tells you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Ian talks about this a bit in this discussion. How will it account for talents? Like, how will it account for every scenario that you're in? And he's like, we're working on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not an idea. It's not going to be perfection right off the bat, but it will take into account your situation, your
and
talents,
also that's
everything.
like kind of saying, when you play with steering assist on Mario Kart and you've got like the little aerial coming out the back, it's like Mario Kart players being like, well, yeah, but how will it know when to use my boosts?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not what it's for. Like, it's kind of, it's a basic thing to tell you which buttons to kind of press and get on with and what have you. Which is one thing, and that's fine. We can discuss like all the ways this would be good or bad in just a moment. But it goes a little bit further than that as well. And it does give you the option of having a rotation assist action button that you can put on your action bar under a keybind, and that will actually change what ability is activated. The ability that button is will change corresponding to the rotation assistant. So literally you can go through the rotation assistant rotation that it's suggesting to you just by pressing one button over and over again. And this does come with a GCD penalty of 0.2 seconds, which sounds like laughably small, but you'll notice.
Yeah, you'll know.
And in this case, we are literally pressing one button over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So now, people are saying there's an add-on that already does this called like Sequencer or something.
I did not know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that an add-on that did that would literally be against the add-on terms of service. Stuff that like
automates,
chooses buttons to press in circumstances. Like signaling which buttons to press is one thing, but actually selecting and choosing the button to press, I believe is against add-on rules. Maybe someone in the like chat can correct me on that, but I thought it was. So if that's the case, either way, like the implications of this feature are pretty obvious, I thought. But I think I'm pretty sure that it's against terms of service. But maybe I'm wrong.
And I mean, it's worth remembering or just considering what this feature is actually for. It's you're not going to maximize your DPS by doing this. You're not just gonna like go on autopilot by doing this. I mean, you can if you want to. It's a really good accessibility feature for people who might struggle with doing the rotation otherwise, and it's a fun way of just like maybe, I mean, you'll use rotation assist if you want to learn a new class, right? Just, it's thinking about it. I'm kind of astounded that this hasn't existed in WoW yet. like a rotation helper.
Yeah.
Like the fact, and this is something we can talk about, in the podcast today, because this whole concept of working in an ecosystem with add-ons, which the game relies on, essentially. Like it's, I was reminded of our buddy Dan Olson's brilliant video about why it's rude to suck at Warcraft and the whole idea.
I think you mean my brilliant video about add-ons.
Both of those
about.
videos came to mind simultaneously in my head. I could only say one first. But the idea of World of Warcraft as a paratext and as existing on so many forms and of media outside of the game, but are actually essential to the function of the game.
Yeah.
So there's the game, there's Wowhead, there's Icy Veins, there's add-ons, there's this whole universe which the game cannot exist without, essentially. So, listening to this kind of discussion, this interview, it even made me think of damage meters. In my mind, they're not an add-on. They're baked into the game, but of course they're not.
Yeah. We'll get onto that in just a second, because that's a bit where Ian talks about other things they might that they're working on to try and bring in. I want to keep it just to the rotation assist right now. But yeah, I mean, I made a joke earlier about having one big red button on my desk, which I can just go like this, and that's funny, but also so I can see why there might be a knee-jerk reaction against this, because I've played video games before and I've been in the video game community for quite a long time.
Of course.
And I know that people get upset when people suggest an easy mode in video games. I know that people get upset when people suggest any kind of inclusive what's the word I'm looking for?
Accessibility.
Thank you. Accessibility feature into a game. Gamers get upset by that, because gamers get upset by anything that isn't gamers, right? Or is slightly different from exactly what they are. And so I get that, and I do get that. And as Ian says in this interview, one of the joys of WoW is how complex it is, and I, for one, would very much like to keep the complexity of WoW's rotations. I think they're really interesting, and I think there are tools that I use to make them more understandable to myself. I have an add-on that tells me on the tooltip for all my abilities, when I hover over them, it tells me what talents and other abilities are affecting that ability. It shows me the talent that's adding more damage to that ability. It shows me the ring I'm wearing that has an impact on it as well, and stuff like that. And WoW should integrate that for sure. But that complexity is good and is an important part of WoW, and something that should be preserved. So if I thought that the rotation assistant was aimed at dumbing down the highest end of complexity of WoW, I would be very much against it, because I wouldn't like to see WoW get, less rich and complicated at its high end, because to a certain extent that's where I play, and I really enjoy it, and I don't think that's what's happening. It doesn't seem to be that at all. It is very much for, many examples already in the chat, older people who literally can't move their fingers as much, people who they just play the game for the story or for RP, and they don't care about doing they don't get satisfaction out of figuring out combat, and they just want to press a button, and that's awesome. Would you, if you were that person, put yourself into someone's shoes for a moment, as someone who literally just doesn't care about combat?
Sounds like me.
Yeah. Would you have it as just the one button, or would just the buttons to press lighting up be enough for you? Would that actually be more interesting to you?
If I wasn't seeing it as an accessibility need, if I was just
that's kind of what I mean.
I am lazy, but if I was even more lazy, or if I was just I just want to play through for the story, and had zero interest in combat, then I would at least want. I don't think I would go for the one button solution. I would go for the rotation helper, because then I would be at least I'm playing there's a semblance of playing a game, I might feel like it, even though I'm not really doing much, but arguably you still are. So if that's what I was after, then I would probably go for the rotation helper.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see myself doing that on new classes and things as well.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to use it.
Yeah, to get used to it. But, I'm also thinking about our kids and when they might want to start playing the game, if they ever want to play the game. And that is that is huge for them. Yep. Having like a button that they can press to do their rotation against baddies. I mean, that literally means they can start playing the game 2 or 3 years earlier than they would have been able to play the game otherwise. Yeah. And, I don't recommend that you let your tiny little kids play video games all the time or whatever. And I don't want to ruin their lives by getting them into WoW, but it's as a family thing because they're already showing an interest in it because we do it. And because this office is really nice and they like being up here, it's exciting for them. I could, that's going to enable them to start playing the game.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's really cool. And then, naturally they'll kind of, maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they carry on playing the game, they'll kind of like disable it and like move on to the buttons lighting up and just pressing the buttons that it tells them to, and then maybe moving on to not having it at all.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, the buttons already light up loads anyway without the rotation assistant. Like, it's like with a lot of classes, we joked about it, but you genuinely are kind of pressing buttons when they light up, right?
Button lights up, I push it, right?
Totally.
Wait, surely that's how you just play WoW, right?
Now, an obvious criticism of this is that it's also, it's great for old people. It's great for people with accessibility needs. It's great for kids. It's great for people who don't care about combat. It's also great for bots.
Sure.
Like, it's awesome for bots. Yeah. It's like so good for bots. Like, oh my god, if bots had any like real minds, they'd be like clapping and like cheering and like obviously it's really, really good for bots, so I don't know what you do about that. Who knows, but like, I think about how much it's going to enable my kids to start playing. It means obviously it would really help with controller support for people that want to use a controller. Could this be the sign of moving WoW over to console? Who knows? Why not? I say, who cares? Like, let the console users figure it out. Like, get it out there. Let them figure it out. Yeah. But wouldn't it be cool? So say you're like a Beast Mastery Hunter and you're playing on console and you've got your controller. You've got like what? You've got 4 buttons, right? Yeah. And then you've got like your trigger buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
So what if your 4 buttons you actually have bound to individual abilities that you use a lot, but then your trigger button you have bound to the rotation assist button.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the freedom to use those 4 abilities whenever you like.
Yeah.
But there might be something that's lit up that isn't on your controller on the rotation assist button, then you're just like, hit that one with my trigger. Like, so you could, that's like a use case for that as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrific idea. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, and this is something I disagree with. To make it clear, I'm 100% in favor of this accessibility feature. I think it's really good. I think it's correct that there's a slight penalty for using the automated one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's great. That's really cool. I disagree that this proves that WoW rotations are too complicated. I disagree that the fact that people need this. Oh yeah, we've had people saying it in our chat already. Like, I disagree with like the fact that people need this, the fact that anyone uses Hekili. Did I say it right?
Hekili, maybe.
Hekili, yeah. The fact that anyone even uses Hekili proves that, like, WoW is too complicated. And I just disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And as you said earlier, and as Ian said in the discussion, it's the joy of WoW is its complexity. That's like inherent to what it is and why it is good and why it appeals to so many people, because some classes are very complex, some classes are stupidly complex, and others are extremely simple.
I don't know if any classes are stupidly complex. Like, to play them at that absolute peak might be stupidly complex. Right? But that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there are these kind of degrees of variation within, like, complexity and base gameplay, and then an added layer for if you want to get good, right? So like it, and then but that's like we've talked about, it's just a part of WoW that is kind of a joy. I mean,
I just remember when this was like a big topic of conversation about a year ago, which is one of the things that inspired me to make the add-ons video in the first place, was this idea that the Arcane Mage opener. In Raid is really complex. If you want to do it absolutely optimally, it's very, very complex. And people are bringing up like the flowchart and going, look, a new player is not going to be able to, like, they're going to take one look at this and they're going to be like, and it's like, yeah, but why would a new player need to play world first levels of Arcane Mage Opener in Mythic Raid? Like, they don't. They shouldn't be thinking about that. They should be leveling in Elwyn Forest. That's what a new player should be doing. Like organically learning the buttons and stuff. There is no new player that needs to know what the Arcane Mage Opener is. Like, if a new player is playing Arcane Mage, they need to know what their shoot button is and what their shield button is, and that's it until they level up a bit. Like, you know, and so this was like such a big deal and such a thing. And it's like, I actually think it's good that someone who is new to the game can't play Arcane Mage in the opener, at least, as well as a world first Mythic Raider who has practiced the game loads and loads. I actually think that's a good thing, right? Like, if violins were really easy to play, they wouldn't be as good as if they were, like, if you had to learn them, right? You wouldn't be able to make such good music on them, because, you know, it's the fact that you can do different things with them, and like that makes them interesting and gives them like variety and scope. And like, you know, like you could make a violin really easy to play by having one string, you know, but it wouldn't be able to play as many notes, and it wouldn't be as good or useful. Like,
okay, I get this analogy.
and like, you know, and I think it's good. I think it's good that the game has complexity, and I wouldn't want to lose that. And if I felt like this was part of a move from Blizz to file off the top level of complexity from the game, then I'd be completely against it. But that's quite clearly not what's happening at all.
It's absolutely not that, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And I can see like people having that worry, honestly, and that's always been like the thing behind people not wanting there to be a console version of the game and what have you. And I think that's reasonable. I think that's a fair worry, but I don't think this is what's happening. It just doesn't seem that way to me.
Yeah.
If it lets my kids play, that's going to be great. A 0.2 penalty on GCD seems very small, but it
adds up.
I'm yet to see it in action.
Yeah,
right?
it'll add up, won't it?
Yeah. And, you know, like, there's no way that someone going into like a mythic raid is going to be able to keep up, you would think, by using this assistant. And I don't know, should they be able to?
I don't know.
Like, so if Blizz came out and were like, okay, so this one button rotation assistant, you can literally keep up with world first raiders in a mythic raid environment with this. Would that be a good or a bad thing?
It would be a bad thing.
Okay, why though?
Because there would be no reward to the game. Like, there would be no point in learning the game. And again, inherent to what makes WoW good is that there are many layers and levels at which you can play it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, in that case, I would understand people getting upset, because it would take literally all of like the joy out of learning it, right? I saw someone commenting, being like, you know, I used Hikili before to use my rotation. It was really good. But at some point, I deleted it because it made me feel like I wasn't playing. So for some people, you know, like having that assistance along the way is going to feel really good. For some people, they're going to want to progress a bit and get past it. So yeah, it would be a bit ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I am like massively underestimating the effect of a 0.2 second GCD addition. I think
you are. And
I think it's gonna be horrible. Every class is now a haste class, right?
Yeah. It's a lot, and it's gonna, you know, if you're thinking like parses or whatever, it's gonna give you like a middling parse, right? Or, like, cool, right?
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
You know, and I think,
I'm 1,000,000% in favor of this. I think it's terrific. I think it's like a good tool to help people that would need the help. Like, I can't imagine myself. I can't, you know, the one button thing I would never use, but I can see myself like using at the beginning of my career with a new class or something.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think that's terrific. And, you know, it brings up, and that's the first part of this video, this Wowcast, and then it goes off into like a more complex debate about add-ons in general.
Yes.
And there is this hilarious moment in this video, I don't know if you've seen it, where Dratnos makes fun of Max for like, you know, automating like the fun out of the game with add-ons. And Max, with not a hint of irony, says, hey, I am #1 YOLO this thing. It's like, no, you're not.
No, my friend.
No, you're definitely not. Maybe in comparison to other world first raid leaders, you're the YOLO king, right? But you are not the number one. Let's YOLO this thing, man. Because I've been in guilds that are actual number one YOLO things, right? And that ain't you. Not a fucking chance. No way. But it brings up that thing of where, you know, people are like, oh, it shows how complex the game is, badly so, that people need to use these things. And the thing is, no one needs to use these things.
Yeah.
Like, top-end players don't need to use anything. Like, if I, a trash player, can get Keystone Hero and all those classes that I'd never played before with no add-ons, then a world first raider with like all of their much better skill, they can do stuff without using add-ons. So like I sincerely believe that no one needs to use these add-ons. But the thing is, they are in a literal competitive environment, you know? Like, they're not doing it because they need to do it to play. They're using these things because they want to win. Like, it's like saying no one needs a car that goes like 200 miles an hour. It's like, well, you do if you're in a car race and you want to win the car race. Right? Yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't need a car that goes at 200 miles an hour. I can get wherever I want to go without going at 200 miles an hour. But if I wanted to win an F1 race, I'd probably need a faster car. So it's like, yeah, world first raiders don't need these things, but if they want to win and they want to beat other people that are using them, then obviously they're going to be using them. So that's not really a fault with the game. That's just a fault with add-ons existing. And no one wants to like get rid of all add-ons, right? So because add-ons are awesome and great, and yeah, they're so cool.
And they've said specifically in this interview that they're, you know, Ian's goal isn't to you know, decimate the add-on landscape completely. It's to make WoW as good a game as possible. With its own tools, and then they're not even gonna like touch, you know, kind of like cosmetic things or other little like kind of, you know, add-ons in that realm. Like, it's their, you know, the intention is not to, what would they say in the interview is like, it's not escalation. It's like kind of, it's not really disarmament either. It's just the kind of nuclear analogy doesn't quite work, but it's not to like.
Having said that, there is a suggestion in this interview that once the framework is in place, which won't be for years yet, by the way, at the pace they're going, but once that framework is in place, then there is thought about disabling, you know, functionality for combat weak auras, basically. I would love that. You can basically play without combat weak auras now if you wanted to. Like, I play with my fake auras that I made using the UI, and I augment certain abilities with a weak aura, whereas before it used to be all weak auras. So like, it's more than possible. But then whatever the game can do, there's always going to be something that an add-on can do better. Yes. And that's not necessarily a fault with the game, right? It's like, it's just going to make it easier to know where you are or spot yourself, or like save you a split second worth of thinking. Like, for example, like the one they use in, the example they use in Dan's video is literally just a cross in the middle of the screen, which marks exactly where your character is at all times. That helps you because it saves you a split second's worth of thought in like a high pressure situation. And that gives you an advantage. It's as simple as that. But is that something that Blizz should enable in the game? Seems like, I don't know. So yeah, whatever. But if they get to a point where they can disable combat add-ons, combat weak auras, then I think that would be good. I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be great. Although I like weak auras, I like the fact that I can design something to be exactly how I want it, because no matter how much functionality there is in the WoW UI, I might want it to look a little bit different. I might want it to sound a little bit different. Yeah. I might want to have it use an icon that, you know, it doesn't use or something. And I'm going to need a weak aura for that.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'll be honest, having listened to this discussion, I'm like, I think I'm going to download Hakili.
Oh, really?
It's like, I think I'm literally going to give it a spin, see how it feels.
Do you know what?
It'll be a nice contrast for when the rotational
Hakili is very, like, it's kind of very tiring because you tunnel on it so much. Like, this is my experience of it.
Yeah.
And why I don't use it is because all I was looking at on that screen was what button to press next. and I kind of ignored everything else. And I didn't feel like I'd actually been playing the game afterwards, and I felt like the game had kind of passed me by a little bit.
Interesting.
Really.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, for everyone who's having this issue, it's like, oh, what this one button is going to destroy the game. It's going to destroy actual engagement. It's like, yeah, but you don't actually have to use it. So, you know, like you have agency, right? You can give it a spin if you want to, if you know, want to give it a try, see how it feels to have that 0.2, you know, delay on your global cooldown. But then you can stop. Like it's this, you know, and I don't know. And I think this idea that like, oh, it's going to like just like really lower the bar across the board for people who are playing the game. And it's like, yeah, I think it's not giving people enough credit.
Well, no, and also, dude, like people won't take, you know, a class on their Mythic Plus run because it does 5% less damage than like the meta class, right? They're not going to take someone, you know, they're not going to use an add-on that gives them like 10 or 20% less DPS.
No,
like,
exactly.
You know, it's like...
Exactly. And I think, okay, so at the end of the day, you know, people are very concerned. WoW players are very concerned about what other WoW players are doing. They really, really care about what other people are doing because... This is, well, sure, it's a social game. It's a MMO. It's going to affect what you know, how you do. At the end of the day, add-ons like this or WoW making improvements like this, its rotation helper, things like that, they will only help make other players better, right? I think the rotation helper will only help people do better. If you're going straight into like the one button rotation thing, that's a different story. But if you're using rotation helper, that will only like collectively boost the level of players in the game, which will in turn make your life better.
Oh yeah,
it will make people less likely to deplete your keys. It will make people just better players essentially. And what they want people to be better players, right? So you know, it's not gonna give people like a competitive advantage. Like it's just gonna raise the bar overall in terms of like enjoyment and gameplay.
And that's why Blizz are never going to be able to get rid of add-ons because people don't need them. Like you know, to a certain degree. Okay, you can always point out like exceptions that prove the rule, right? You can always go, well, you couldn't do this mechanic without add-on. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe, you know, but the fact is like 99% of things in combat that people use add-ons for, they could do it. It's because it gives them advantage. It makes it easier. It's like, yeah, if you're a competitive swimmer, you wear like the swimsuit that is like super smooth and aerodynamic. And let's see, like, do you need that to be good at swimming? No, obviously. But like when you're in a race against other people that are all taking whatever tiny advantage they can take, yeah, of course you do. Like anything that can make it. And if you're struggling on something and you're not a world first raider, are you going to then do everything you can to make it easier for yourself? Yeah, like totally, for sure. So it makes sense. And, you know, this isn't for competitive players, but the overall kind of like approach here that Blizz are talking about does take in competitive players as well. Like it's quite funny to see Max sitting here saying like, I'd love it if we didn't have to use weak auras and stuff. It's like in a world first competitive environment, you're always going to find a use for weak auras that will like improve certain elements of something or like make something clearer to an extent that it would be unreasonable to expect a video game to be able to cater to, right?
No, exactly.
And like, you know, you are always going to be using weak auras, Max. It's like, you will. Like, you might not use them as much, but like as a world first raider, you're always going to use them. And like, but everyone else, yeah, it would be great if you had like, if you were in a place where you didn't have to use them. I love that since I did my no add-ons experiment, I use so many less weak auras because it frees up RAM space that I can use more add-ons for not combat stuff, and it's so great.
I stopped using weak auras specifically because my PC cannot handle them. It's made me a better player.
So like there's talk from Ian in this video of, you know, introducing. They do a lot of, okay, they basically go over everything that I went over in my add-ons video, to be honest. It's like they talk about, you know, important interrupts being much more clearly marked in dungeons and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's like a big thing that I make in my video and something a drum that I've been banging for years as well. I always said, like, remember when all that talk about affixes and Mythic Plus was happening in like literally Shadowlands? And I was like, dude, the biggest single change you could make to Mythic Plus to make it more accessible and better would be to clearly mark in the base UI like casts that need interrupting. That is like the biggest change you could possibly make. Like, forget anything else. Forget the affixes.
What's an interrupt?
Says the hunter. My God, this is why we have so many wipes.
I'm joking.
And it's good that they have started doing that now, and it's clearly in their thinking, and that's fantastic. Clearly not my video that's done it, but it is nice that they are addressing so many things in this video.
Part of the conversation.
Like that we bring up on that video. Like in that video, I come out and I'm like, I sincerely believe that a damage meter should be part of the base UI, which was a very controversial thing to say in that video, right? But it's one of the things that Ian brings up in this cast as well, is like, yeah, actually, we think there is room for a damage meter like baked into
it is. Damage meters are the most popular add-ons in the game by far. And like I said earlier, to the point that I can't imagine playing the game without a damage meter.
Yeah.
I go into Final Fantasy and I feel weird because I don't know what I'm, I don't know what kind of damage I'm doing. It is like the simplest indicator of whether you are playing well or not.
Or whether, like, as the example Ian uses here, whether the new trinket that you've equipped is actually helping you do more damage and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it is the most straightforward, not without its flaws, but like, this is your DPS, this is your healing per second. Like, it either goes up or down based on what you've done, based on how you've changed your rotation, based on your new trinket. Like,
100%.
That's it. And it is just the most straightforward, like, I'm doing better or I'm doing worse.
Legitimately, it's one of the things that throws me off doing kind of like content like that in other MMOs. It's the reason I don't enjoy like 14 raiding and dungeons in groups so much. Like I enjoy them when I'm playing them basically single player as part of the story, and that's why I play those games. But when it comes to like the combat side of it, I just don't know if I'm doing right. I don't know if I'm doing well or how I can improve, because it's not telling me. And I think a damage meter is, and I'd never break the rules of 14 and use a damage meter add-on. So I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to Yoshi. Sometimes I consider using a damage add-on in Final Fantasy 14, but every time I do it, and this happens every time I masturbate as well, I just picture Yoshi looking at me disappointed, and then I can't use the damage meter anymore. It's like... So,
wait, but what purpose does that serve? Never mind, I'm not gonna delve into that.
And I just can't. I can't do anything if I think Yoshi would look at me disappointed for doing it. It's like, so someone says in the chat, like, the game creates the need for add-ons. No, I actually completely disagree with that statement. I think a much better statement would be, the existence of add-ons creates the need for add-ons. Like, WoW is a game that allows add-ons, and it's almost quite old-fashioned in that respect.
It is. It really
games
is.
just don't do that anymore, particularly online multiplayer games, right? For obvious reasons. But back when WoW came out, that was like considered just standard for games. It was like incredibly consumer-friendly in that sense. It was like, muck around with our code, make it how you want it. Like, invent new stuff for it. I mean, it's literally how Dota came out of Warcraft 2, right? Warcraft 3. Like, is because, games companies were much more open and, like, let people get hold of the code and play with it more than they do now. And... it is a throwback to, in my opinion, a more consumer-friendly time, which is one reason that I really like it. It's like, make our game how you like it. Just do it. We won't sell you this stuff. Just change it. It's fine. Now they want to sell it to you, which is why they don't allow it anymore, right? But the very fact that you're allowed to use add-ons is what creates the need for add-ons, not the game. Because, like, literally anything you can do in the game, you're like, this would be easier with an add-on. Because of course it would. But that's not the game's fault. Like, you could say that about literally any game.
Yeah.
SimCity is going to be easier if you use add-ons, but it doesn't mean you should, or that they should allow them, or or that they need it. It's just going to make it easier.
Yeah, looking back at Dan Olsen's video, It's Rude to Suck at World of Warcraft, the first comment at the top is like, I created WeakAuras. I'm like the original creator of WeakAuras. I did not know what that this would have happened because of what I did, right? But that it's just a symptom because of how we are and how games exist and how the game works.
It's so funny when I was doing my fake auras, when I was trying to play without add-ons, I was like, the thing that the UI can't do right now, which I really would like it to be able to do, is to track like my dots on people, to track effects on me. I just really need something that tracks the auras. And I was like, right, okay, makes sense. So they talk about bringing in a damage meter. Ian mentions, like bringing in something like a DBM that will give you a timer of boss abilities and stuff, which I think is a great idea.
Yes, one of the things he talks about, is I mean, I like everyone, I think DBM must be one of the most used add-ons in game as well. Just having a boss fight timeline would be incredible, in part because it's literally just adding like the audio prompt, right? That's another thing they talk about a bit, just like having like an audio or visual prompt to help you do what you need to do. Like it's already written there in like the dungeon journal, they're like in the encounter, it's already there, but like actually literally having it on a timeline, that's how it translates into DBM, into an add-on. But having that in the game would be brilliant. Yeah, it would just be so helpful. Like these are all, they're all just kind of essential quality of life things.
My opinion on this kind of stuff changed when I realized that the people that are generally loudest about it being bad that WoW needs add-ons are people that like say classic is much better, and then whenever I watch their streams, they've literally got an arrow over their head telling them where to go to complete their quest, and it's like, dude, it's you. Like you're the thing. Yeah. Leave us alone. I'll never forget when I watched the Race to World first year in BFA and Method or whatever on some downtime, and they were doing world quests because they had to get that Azerite, right?
Yeah.
And like dude was using an add-on to do the shell game for him, and I was like. And then the next day I had to read about how world quests were boring. And it was like, bitch, you're using an add-on for the shell game. Of course it's boring. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. No one can sit here telling me that it's Blizzard's fault that you have to use an add-on for the shell game, right? Like, and no one blames Classic for the fact that you have to use the arrow over your head to do quests. Like, people understand that they don't need to, but they just want to. And no one argues that you can't play Classic without add-ons, because how would I know where to go without the arrow over my head, right? And and some really interesting comments in this chat. Someone who's saying like, I just couldn't play high end without using like a heal bot or something like that. My friend, I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. Like I haven't used a frames add-on since I started playing again in Mists of Pandaria, and the UI does everything you want it to. Like I heal as disc and have done for like 10 years without using except I can't even remember the name of the add-on that is compulsory for our raids, so I can't even pretend to joke. But like you absolutely, particularly now, I used to use mouse over macros for it, but now you don't even need to do that. You just tick a box in options to do like mouse over casting, and yeah, you absolutely can play it without raid frames. It will tell you every debuff you need to like deal with, and you can have them all the colors you want and stuff like that. You can have your little percentages on there, It's great. It's really good. So yeah, I haven't used a frames add-on for basically ever. I technically have like an add-on that like tells me who to cast PI on. Like their raid frame lights up.
Yeah,
exactly. Lights up when they're using their DPS cooldown sort of thing. So I know it's a good time to like use PI on someone, which technically is a raid frame add-on, but I mean like curse, heal bot or something like that, where it just replaces all the frames. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, particularly if they've been using something like Elv UI, which is a whole suite of stuff forever, they have no idea what the functionality of the actual in-game UI is these days, and what they can actually do without add-ons, because they're comparing it to when they didn't have any add-ons back in Wrath or something. It's like, the game's come on quite a way since then, and the UI has come on quite a way since then, and you know what? It's a bit, some of you need to do a Tiger Woods, right?
Excuse me?
Bear with me on this one.
Okay. Please elaborate.
Not the bad stuff that Tiger Woods has done, but some of you, like, do you remember when Tiger Woods, like, he was like the best golfer in the world and he was really good at golf, and everyone was like, that Tiger Woods, man, he's really good at golf. And then one day he decided that to be even better at golf, he needed to change his swing. Okay, so what he did was he like had to change his swing, so he had to start using a new swing, and so for a while he was shit at golf relatively. Like, he was nowhere near as good as he used to be because he was using a swing that he wasn't as good at, but it was a better swing. So once he got good at that, he was actually even better than he was before. But there was a period, like anyone who's ever taken tennis lessons will recognize this as well. The idea that, you know, you've got okay at playing tennis and then you take tennis lessons. This is what I hear. I've never taken tennis lessons. But like, and then the tennis instructor is like, your swing sucks.
Yeah.
So we need to like dismantle that.
Yeah.
And like, you need to learn it properly. And like, there's a period where you're rubbish at tennis and you're nowhere near as good as you were, but then you can do the swing properly and you're much better, right? So I think if a load of people disabled ElvUI and their add-on suite tomorrow, they would go through a week or two of being obviously worse at the game, but then they would be better at the game and find the game much more simple and easier.
Please don't take away my ElvUI.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, like, this has turned into a crutch for a whole bunch of people, which is kind of a perpetuating circle where it's like, you know, kind of like drinking 12 cups of coffee a day or whatever. You could cut out the coffee and you'd feel terrible for a week. And you wouldn't be as functional, but then you'd be glad you did, sort of thing. It's
true. There is something to be said about that. Yeah, because I've been using ElvUI since forever, but I've never used the entire suite. There's loads of bits within it that I disable because I don't feel like I need them. I also, like a maniac, go through and change every font on every add-on to be the original WoW font because it's important to me. That feels consistent. But there will be a point where, and I've kind of felt this in more recently, you know, as they make more improvements to the game, where I'm like, actually, do I need this? And when they kind of did the kind of UI overhaul, I did disable it for a second, and then I went back immediately because it still didn't do what I needed to do for me.
And people saying, like, why would you want to not use add-ons when like ElvUI does exist and is great and stuff? And it's like, well, maybe that's fine, but maybe your computer struggles with using that many add-ons. Maybe you don't like the fact that, you know, every single patch that goes live screws you for a couple of days while your add-on makers update their add-ons and stuff like that. Maybe you just like using the in-game UI because you trust that there's nothing that your ElvUI just isn't showing you for whatever reason, which happens a load in Raid. Someone is dying to something over and over again. We're like, yo, dude, why
buttons disappear?
And they're like, oh, I literally am getting no indication of that on my ElvUI because, like, unbeknownst to you, the add-on you're using is like hiding something from you by mistake, which wouldn't happen if you were using the base UI. Like, there are definite advantages to it. There's a comment here which is like, instead of trying to reduce the number of abilities, spells, and make the boss fights more intuitive, they implement add-ons in the game. What a bad take. Well, that's not just what they're doing, because like we say, Ian is talking about stuff like we've been saying for ages, interrupts that should be interrupted in Mythic Plus should be much better signposted and very obvious. And I think Arathor did that really, really well. Like, there was no mistaking when that add-on, when that mob is doing the cast with the big poison cast, right? Because he starts glowing green, there's loads of poison lapping around his feet and stuff like that. It's like, that's what should happen. When there's a really important, I know that interrupts more important in low-level keys than high-level keys, and actually you want to be interrupting the other thing, but whatever. Like, you know, these things should be better telegraphed and better shown, absolutely. And more so than the addition of, like, the rotation assist. Hearing Ian talk about that is really good for me. I'm really interesting. And that's what I want to see. I want to see it be very obvious when a mob needs interrupting and they're in the middle of a cast that needs interrupting. I definitely want to see that. Yeah. I think if they implement damage meters, if that has like a damage taken part of the meter as well, that would be incredibly useful too, because it would just help you see what killed you and like what happened with that. One that reminds me, actually, this rotation assist, I've watched this video twice now, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I watched it a second time, specifically listening out to this, and I didn't hear it.
Okay.
They don't mention healers at all.
No. No, I was going to say there's no discussion of healing. As if it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, weird. So I don't know if they have a plan for that. Would have been a question that I would really have liked Dratnos or Max to ask.
I have
actually.
A feeling that they're saving it for another video. I have a feeling that that's going to be another discussion completely.
Maybe,
but it is interesting that in a video on the entire philosophy of add-ons, it's kind of excluded.
So there's that, right? But DPS only. So I mean, I guess you could enable it for your healer. I mean, do you know what? Like, genuinely, it would be super interesting for a healer because, like, actually, it takes any thought out of your DPS rotation when you don't need to be healing in like a dungeon or raid. Discipline Priest not included here, but that thing where it's like I need to concentrate on my healing rotation, and then literally I press this button in my downtime, and I don't have to think about the rotation, and I'm doing like a solid amount of damage, sort of thing, which could be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, it could be.
And I wonder if that GCD penalty is across the board. It's just like that's how long your GCD is now because you've got the one button enabled, or if it's only when you press the one button that you get the GCD penalty. I suspect it'll be when you just press the button, not across the board. So if you press a different button for a different ability, it won't have the GCD penalty.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. So
I wonder if just having that button enabled and on your bars introduces a blanket 0.2 second increase in your GCD, or if that 0.2 second GCD increase will only be when you press the one button.
I feel like it must be blanket because otherwise then you could have that button going and then using it to press, and it'd be, I think it must be a blanket.
You reckon?
I think so. Only one way to find out.
The one button. I love it's the one button as well. I love that you will be able to get a big red button on your desk and just go like this.
Huge.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Fantastic. It's huge. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. You can have a lot of fun with that.
Yes.
That's that. And it's really interesting to hear them talk about bringing more what we would recognize as combat add-ons sort of into the game generally. The rotation assistant isn't of much interest to me. I think it's good, and I like the idea that they're bringing it in. The idea that my kids will be able to pick up the game and play much easier and simpler is fantastic to me. I think that's like, I can genuinely see Annie getting a lot out of that. And anything that makes him happy makes me happy. So, and it shouldn't affect things at the top end of the game. I'm just going to say I'm completely in favor of it.
Yeah.
With the caveat that it isn't as good as, a world first raider.
Oh, well, no, exactly. And I'm, now that it's coming out, one, might give Hakili a try, just see how it goes.
Yeah, give it a go.
Just, two, I'm curious to see how that will impact my gameplay overall. Like, will I use it to, I've got a couple of alts that I just want to level up a little bit, slightly mindlessly. Like, is that necessarily a bad thing if I just do a one button rotation on them for a bit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's coming. I'm glad it exists. I'm looking forward to giving it a spin.
Me too. I hope I don't like it though. I hope I don't start using it. Can you imagine? People already think I'm an absolute noob. Can you imagine if I started using that as well? I'm not sure I could deal with the shame, to be perfectly honest. I don't know.
Exactly.
So let me just get rid of this. Oh no, I need to change the scene. Here we go.
Shall we go to some super chats?
We talked about that way longer than I thought we were going to. So yeah, let's go straight to some super chats. We don't even have to talk about last week's news. Let's get your opinion on it. It's like super quickly. Puss and Cartel chip.
Great. Fine.
That's not what you said when you heard the news.
Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, it's rubbish. It's awful. It's like, and it's so labyrinthine.
I believe your exact
complex.
words.
And it's like, and I actually don't know what the current state of it is because they announced the change and then they immediately reverted and they're like, you get one right from the beginning, but then you still have to get three in order to turn one. It's nonsensical.
What do you think about the main controversy behind it, which is the fact that you have to be killing mythic bosses to be able to use the token to get the mythic loot.
I think it makes sense. Like, it makes sense that you should have killed a mythic boss in order to receive some mythic loot. That at that threshold, it makes sense to me. Otherwise, you
just ended our careers. I hope you realize that. It's not popular, babe.
I know, but it kind of makes sense to me. On the other hand, it's what, 2 pieces of gear that you can get. It would be really nice if Blizz were just like, hey, here you go. Here's some mythic stuff for everyone. You know, that wouldn't upset me.
Here is my workaround that was in the comments of one of our videos.
Yeah, what's
really
your solution here? Because I'm currently...
Because the more I think about it, the more I agree that, okay, you should kill mythic bosses to get mythic loot. Like, it will never not... Like, I was as disappointed as everyone else that I wouldn't be able to get my, like, mythic Mugsy Jugsy mug.
Well, exactly.
Without killing mythic Mugsy, because I never, ever will.
Because you're never going to get to him, right?
Exactly,
I understand that frustration.
So, like, I really want my mythic Mugsy Jugsy mug. And I like everyone else was very disappointed when I learned that would not be the case. And as someone who at the moment I'm running 14 keys in Mythic Plus, but you know, heroic is my raid level with our team, so you know the cartel ship's basically useless to me.
Yes.
So, and I think there's a lot of people in that boat, right? So much as I hate to admit that I think it's probably right that maybe you should kill mythic bosses to get the mythic loot. Here's my workaround. You know, keep the rules as they are. So, like, if you're killing mythic bosses, you can use one of your tokens to buy the mythic thing. If you have not killed mythic, you can buy up to heroic level no matter what you've done. But if you haven't killed a mythic boss, you can get a mythic piece of gear, but it's going to cost you all 3 of your tokens.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you can use it to buy 3 pieces of gear at the level that the rules allow you to.
Yeah.
Or you can save them all up and get that mythic piece that you would never have been able to get otherwise.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like this.
I think that's a very
nice solution.
elegant solution.
Because, you know, people
personally
are always targeting like that one trinket, like one thing.
Yeah.
You know, give them the option. Either they do kind of like a flat increase all over and just get their hero stuff, or they get like that one shiny mythic.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that would be great for me because,
board.
like, at the moment the tokens are literally useless.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even transmog tokens, honestly. So, like, for me, it would be nice to save up all 3. Yeah. And that would be 7 weeks into the system, and then I'd drop them all on my one trinket, and that'd be nice. And I'd feel really good. That would make me feel really good, and it wouldn't be like as game breaking.
And you've still like worked towards it.
Yeah, exactly.
In your own
Like,
way,
yeah,
right?
I've had to think. I've had a decision to make.
But you've
I've
gone the other
thought
way.
about it. I've like, and then I get my mythic Jugsy Mugsy mugs, and I'll obviously be doing like plus 18s after that. So amazing! Can't wait. Yeah. Right, let's move on to our super chats.
Super chats, please. Here we go. Where are they? Where have they gone? Thank you to everyone who gave a super chat today. You rule.
You are the MVPs.
Yep. Chris, thank you so much. Good morning to you both. Just wanted to say thank you for spoiling us with all the videos recently. Always brightens our day.
Like I say, it was kind of a mistake.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't intend to do it, but I'm really glad. Like, I felt excellent yesterday when I put that 3rd video of the week out. I'm like, amazing.
Boom, boom, boom.
And we are going on holiday this month, so
at the end of the month, right? So we've got,
we're going away for a week, but then I'm going to Boston next weekend as well. So it's gonna be a mad scramble to get videos out this month as well. But we'll see. It'll be fine.
We'll get there. Otter doing a wordless super chat, but with a unicorn sticker. Thank you. Thanks, Otter.
Oh, Otter, that's amazing. Thank you. There should be more. I believe when that super chat came through, people were talking about no rainbows in my WoW. So Otter just did their duty and put more rainbows in. Wow.
More rainbows, please. 100% not Thunders. Lovely to see you, friend. Good morning, friends. After the official WoW add-on video that came out yesterday, do you think the one button rotation click is to help WoW go console/mobile?
Good shout, not Thunders. It would certainly, like we kind of discussed in the segment, it would certainly help. It's certainly not going to make it harder to put WoW onto consoles. And I mean, is anyone really against that now? I feel like it's one of those things with WoW. It used to be like anathema. You'd mention the idea of WoW going to consoles as like, that's when we'll know it's over. That's when we know the line has been crossed. That's when we know like the game has gone to crap, and you know, because the amount they'd have to dumb the game down to make that happen.
I think there may be some people in chat currently who hold that opinion.
But I feel like, but that used to be a universal opinion.
Yes,
and I think
remember.
it's one of those universal WoW truths that people literally just stopped caring about when Final Fantasy XIV became popular and everyone really liked it. And that, the cash shop, people don't talk about that so much anymore. You know, it used to be like, if anything was on the cash shop, people were like, and this is why WoW is the worst MMO. And then like Final Fantasy XIV came along doing all this stuff. And they were like, oh no, I still really like this game, so maybe it's not those things. Maybe those things aren't actually the Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Help.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like talk about WoW on consoles is like that. It was always something that people were like, boo, mustn't ever happen. And then 14 got really popular and people really liked it, and they were like, oh, you can play it on consoles? Oh, maybe it's not so bad.
Guess it can't be so bad.
Maybe that's all right then. So yeah, I think in that sense, and I think like, I said this at the time, but I think one of the great things about 14 becoming so popular when it did back in Shadowlands is not just, a lot of people were saying like, oh, it's going to scare WoW into doing good things. And it did. It definitely did do that. But it also opened the way in the community's mind for a lot of changes that WoW could make, that WoW would not have been able to make without people seeing that these things were okay in a different game.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And like, in many ways, it gave WoW more freedom because it got players off their case about certain things. And you know, like the conversation about WoW from like some of the biggest creators at the time, literally overnight changed from, this game is too easy, we shouldn't be focusing on like casual players and new players. They are everything that's wrong with WoW. And that changed overnight when 14 happened to, WoW is too complicated. WoW is only focusing on like great players. It needs to focus more on casual content.
So true,
and it's like literally, it just went 180.
Yeah. And
people think that like WoW changed so it didn't die, but it's like, no, WoW was able to change because the community changed its mind about a lot of stuff. And that's a really good thing. Like, so thanks 14. It's great. And also the other good thing about people playing 14 was it's a great game and people should play it.
Yeah, agreed. Another one from 100% on Thunders. Can we get Haranir yet? I'd like to have a blood death knight Haranir who has a class skin of using Blackblood abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yes, please. I'm still 100% convinced we will get Haranir. I'm thinking maybe, I was convinced we would get them this expansion, and I still wouldn't rule it out because like WoW have been quite good at like whacking surprises in patches.
And that's,
yeah, it just feels like the kind of thing they might do, but the lack of story around them is a bit worrying.
It is, isn't it?
For that. So I'm thinking
we got a little bit recently.
Well, we are due a new class in Midnight. We are. It is.
Are we due?
It is
an
every other expansion, right? So we are due a new class, and you know that classes are always my favorite thing in any expansion. Like, you know, it's going to be a good expansion if they add a new class. There's never been a duff expansion that's had a new class in it. That's as simple as that, right?
Agree.
All the worst expansions in WoW have been ones where there hasn't been a new class. I'm not saying all the ones where you didn't get a new class were bad, but all the ones that people agree are bad, they're the ones that didn't have new classes in. I'm just saying. So, like, yeah. I'm thinking maybe we won't get a new class, even though we're due one, and we'll get playable Haranir instead.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's my thinking, right?
Maybe. I would be. Yeah, I think I'd play one.
Yeah.
I could do one. Aaron, cheers for the super chat. Medic's mount on store equals he will return in midnight. I think we need Medivh's mount on store.
Medivh's mount on store. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
do you know what? I haven't even mentioned this on stream or in videos. The Raven mounts. I haven't even looked at them.
I haven't even looked at them either. I literally saw a tweet about them and I was like,
I feel like
they kind of came and went, didn't they?
The shop is so saturated right now that I'm literally at the point where I'm missing stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm still making loads. I'm sure it's not affecting their bottom line, but it's got to the point where I'm not even paying attention anymore.
No, I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You've become a bit numbed to it.
Yeah, seriously.
I had this exact same reaction to it where I saw like brief mention of the Raven mounts and I was like, and then continued on with my day and haven't even looked into it more closely. Is it possible that Medivh is coming back?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
someone's got to finish Khadgar off for once and for all, right? Like,
give that man a holiday. Yeah, I mean, sure. What? Yeah, bring Medivh back, man. Yeah, bring him back, dude. Why not?
Yeah,
Who cares?
I already
Bring
got the
Ghosty
little
Medivh
cloak.
back, and he can have another conversation with Khadgar, just like he did. And it's
Khadgar's
like,
just
okay,
going to die of
but that's all he
boredom.
can do because he's a ghost.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like, yeah, Medivh comes back and has a conversation with Khadgar. It's like Khadgar's got other people he can talk to. It's okay. We don't need Medivh, honestly, but I do like his vibe. I do like his whole look. I think it's pretty cool.
It's good. Mock Eerie, cheers for the super chat. I feel like the one button is great. It will make it easier to get a small child or someone with other disabilities to play at a base level. Agree.
100%. And like, you know, in a world where one of the main reasons we criticize WoW is because it's not, you know, accessible enough for new players, surely a good thing, right? You know, and no serious gamer, even if they don't know their way around WoW and it is too complicated, right, they're not going to stick with the one button, you know? No one's going to stick with the one button unless they actually need to. Because video games are fun.
I know,
and,
right?
Like, they like pressing different buttons.
Exactly,
and if someone is happy just pressing that one button, then they wouldn't be playing the game otherwise. That's a net gain. That's just a good thing, right?
100%.
I think that's awesome.
I
Yay, the one button. It's my precious.
Daniel K, thank you. Hello, Tally and Evie. Will you two be attending the Boston 30th anniversary event? Cheers.
Oh, thanks for asking, Daniel K.
It's funny that you mentioned
We
it.
did say this at the beginning of the podcast, so if you want a proper answer, just restart the VOD. We talk about it right at the very beginning. Well, we don't actually, kind of halfway through the trading post section. But
Yes.
I am going to the Boston event, which is such a funny turn of events. Yeah, we were going to LFG in London, but we had to cancel that because of childcare issues.
Yep.
And we still have childcare issues. But then Blizz were like, yo, do you want to come to the Boston event?
Did you like it?
And you know, maybe some other stuff as well, which I just literally couldn't say no to, but would have done if we were still going to LFG. But I'm just going by myself, alas, because Evie has to stay and look after the kids, which is not ideal.
We did discuss who should be the one to go. And
Yeah,
for
we did.
Reasons, I think Tally should go. I'll let him have this one. I'll take the next one.
You went to the last one, in
I
fairness.
did go to the last thing.
I stayed home with the kids for the last one. So yeah, I played a blinder there because I got the international trip.
Exactly.
I get a whole day of no itinerary just in Boston on the Sunday as well. Like, just I get to wander around Boston. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. I can't wait. I've always wanted to go to Boston, like legit.
Boston is so cool.
I'm gonna go to the Cheers bar.
You go.
I've
You
literally
do that,
already
baby.
decided that's what I'm doing on Sunday.
You go order
I'm going to the Cheers bar.
Really expensive beer.
Dude, I'm
at
from
the Cheers
London.
bar.
You can't shock me with your expensive beers. You have no power over me. Your expensive beers have no power over me. I can't wait to go to the Cheers bar. It's gonna be fantastic. Oh, I hear there's like some history stuff as well. Whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, someone in chat. I don't agree. One button is needed for people with disabilities. Yes, that's what we said.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree.
We
Yes,
concur.
I'm a huge fan of the one button.
Yeah, I think it's great. Agree completely. Wondermane. Hey, Teeny, what's your personal allied race wish list? I mean, for me, it's always going to be ethereals.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, your time may have come. Really?
Really?
You wouldn't be like put off by the whole no face thing?
If I could be like a sexy,
You
know, they're
are, babe.
muscly
You
under
are.
there.
You are.
No, like you know.
You're just
Like,
describing
look
yourself right now.
Look at Locust Walker. He's just so like broad, and he's got a great voice.
You're
That's
broad.
the thing. There'd
You've
be,
got a good voice.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd love to have playable ethereals. I think they'd be super fun because then all your customizations would be elsewhere. You never see your character's face anyway. You're always looking at their bum.
Oh no, I do. What about in cutscenes and stuff?
Yeah.
Which we have more and more of
maybe
now.
you could get like little googly eyes or like sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Well, actually, the thing is, right, if they were a playable race, they would have access to all of your transmog, and there are glasses. I think it'd be funnier without even sunglasses. I think it'd be funnier with like
really
see-through
funny.
glasses.
I think it'd be really funny.
I think
right?
an ethereal wearing see-through glasses like Clark fucking Kent or something would just be the funniest thing you could possibly have.
Just imagine ethereals and hats, ethereals in like glasses.
Yeah, do you know what? I wasn't into the idea of a Theo playable race.
And it's unlocked for
I'm
you.
1,000,000% into it right now. I need it to happen. And also, like, you wouldn't have to worry about hat hair, would you? And
Exactly.
Then
There's
like,
no hat hair.
imagine the whole, because I can't use hat transmogs if I don't have a bald character, because the whole hat hair thing, I find it unacceptable.
Yeah.
If I had an ethereal, it would open up a whole world of hat transmog to me.
And they would be
And
so
every
funny.
single one would be hilarious.
And like any transmog on an ethereal would just be funny. Like put a mushroom hat on him. Like put it, it's just 10 times funnier because they are
Yeah.
ethereals. That's my personal wish list. It is one allied race. It is one playable race, and it is.
Wow. For
ethereals.
me,
What's yours?
Tusker.
Yeah, obviously.
1,000,000% Tusker.
Are we ever gonna get Naga? I know that was
No.
always like the classic one.
Never gonna get Naga.
They're also so sexy and evil.
They haven't got legs, Everton.
I'm aware.
Like you're never. I'm sorry. You're never gonna
raises
get
many questions.
Yeah, it's like
Like
there's that whole thing of
mermaid
like
thing.
I like mermaids, but they're the wrong way around, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, what? Yeah, so many questions, and also I just want to like role play being a Shara, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's-
no, fair enough. But
who
like,
doesn't?
I just don't think you're ever gonna get a playable race that isn't like bipedal, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway,
Nikki M. Couple of super chats there. Thank you so much. It's my husband's birthday yesterday and his anniversary today. So if you could just say hi to him, that would be great. Oh, happy
and your
birthday.
anniversary as well, I presume.
His name
as well,
is
Nikki.
Dan. Aw.
Dan, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Nikki and Dan, happy anniversary. Thank you for being here and sharing this moment with us. I hope you get everything that you wanted for your birthday.
Aw. And anniversary.
One button to rule them all. Hey, that's a question.
Hey, I got you something for your birthday. It's a button.
Big red button.
It's one
Hey, do you
button.
know that's usually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But will the one button do interrupts?
That's part of your rotation.
I'm even more in favor of it then.
Oh.
Like honestly, if
Mm.
interrupts pop up on the one button, I would probably have the one button
So-
like literally on my bars just so it could show me when to do an interrupt.
Seeing as he's just talking about DPS and damage rotation,
Yeah,
isn't
probably.
he?
Yeah,
Because
you're right.
because you wouldn't have like self heals on there. You wouldn't have like soothes, would you?
I know, man.
No, it's just damage.
Yeah. Who knows?
Questions.
Okay, so streaming music. Instead of a new class, add SOD specs to retail.
Fun.
I mean, the argument is like that's what SOD is for.
Well, that is
right?
what it is for. It's like playground.
But, and the great thing about SOD is like you can have crazy specs that don't need to be long term on there because it's like a season thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, I think that you can do that in Remix. I think like Remix is a great place to experiment with that kind of stuff. But I've said before, like there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen with hero talents. Going into the next expansion, whether they're just going to like add a new tree or rework the ones that are already there. I'm thinking they'll probably just add a new tree per class, so everyone gets like a new spec, like a new hero talent tree. Each spec gets a new hero talent tree, like access to 3 or whatever. What I would love to see them do is in certain cases have a hero talent tree for a spec that could work as almost like a new spec, but without having to do a new spec. The very obvious example would be a hero talent tree for enhancement shaman that lets them tank. Like, it's like the first node increases your stamina by X amount and your threat by X amount, which basically just turns you into a tank. And there's another node that allows you to use a shield. And there's another that changes some of your abilities to be more tanky abilities and stuff like that. There's like a mitigation button and stuff like that. And I just feel like you could do it without all the effort of introducing a new spec. Like, you could nudge, you could use hero talents as a way of doing it. I don't know. Is that cumbersome? I'm not sure.
I think the idea of hero talents was that they kind of didn't do that, right? That they
Sure,
just,
yeah.
At the minute,
yeah.
they're just like
fair.
an effect and an ability.
Fair.
A tree, which makes it feel like there's more going on, but it's
Yeah.
with some flavor depending on the class. and
Fair
stuff.
point, reasonable point. I take it on board. But yeah.
Next one, because I have to roll in a minute. Torek, thank you so much for the super chat. Cheers. The death prediction was great. Oh, speaking of our latest video, now I'm going to pay you to tell you how much I loved it. Isn't capitalism cool? Thanks for taking my suggestion.
I know, man. Feels like charity.
Thanks. Yeah.
But I thank you for that charity. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tori. Really
Cheers.
appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the video. And then finally, Makiri. My biggest wish to add to WoW is for them to add more body types and just customization in general. I still need my troll and goblin beards and orc brows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing that never happened, which was on the cards, when they introduced the different body type selector, like changing male and female body type, literally just the name to body type 1 and body type 2. I mean, you are kind of playing into the hands of people that say that's a useless change when that's all you do. Because, like, in of itself, it is a useless change because body type 1 is still female. Everyone refers to you as she. You have the female voice, you know, like that's the body type change is only a good change and only a meaningful change if you also allow people to choose their voice type and
or add further body types.
Yeah, and
right?
the gender that
body
people
type
refer
3.
to you as,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, if you can't choose those things separately, then it's pointless calling them body type 1 and 2. You might as well call them female and male because functionally they are. Like, you know, so I would love to see that come in, you know, like being able to change, being able to choose like the gender of your voice and the gender that people refer to you as in game would be a great change and make the body type change that exists in the game already meaningful as well. I would like that. But like, yeah, when you're talking about like the skinny human models, that
those
getting
guys.
used a lot,
Never got those guys.
that would be really cool too.
It would just be cool to have more. I know it would be a huge amount of work, but maybe it's something that they're cooking. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, always down for more customization. Always. And yeah, shout out to our buddy Rico. Orc brows. When? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We need some.
On that note,
would one button switch to HOTS when you're playing a healer? I mean, I don't think it's going to be functional for healers at all. I think it's going to just be their DPS rotation for healers as well, which would be not many buttons for a lot of healers, but I still think that would be super useful for a lot of healers, you know, so they like I say, they're concentrating on who to, you know, cast their abilities on and who to heal, and like the rest of the time they're just pressing this one button to be doing like a decent damage rotation would be pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very, very much indeed for joining us today. A lot more discussion on that than I imagined there would be. I don't know why that surprised me, really. Thank you to everyone that joined us for the live recording here on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's watching the video later on. Thank you to everyone who's listening on their podcast listening platform of choice. I promise to get it up there this week as well. Thank you to everyone that's super chatted. Thank you to everyone who's been watching the videos all week. Go and check out our channel to see what news ones are up there, because there's been a big old drop of videos this week. Been lots to talk about. And we look forward to seeing you for the weekly reset over the weekend and more videos in the weeks to come. I look forward to seeing anyone who's going to be in Boston as well, because I'm guessing there's not going to be a podcast next week. I leave on Thursday.
You leave on Thursday, therefore there will be no podcast next week.
Unless we decide to put one on the Wednesday, which seems unlikely.
We'll see what happens. We'll see you guys around.
If that's the case, then podcast fans, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. From me, Taliesin.
And me, Avatal.
Until next time, cheerio!
Bye.